Welcome back to another episode of Time Out with the Sports Doctor podcast. And today we'll be talking mindset. So what is mindset? So mindset is a set of beliefs or ideas that shape how you perceive the world and your place in it. This, in fact, influences the way that you believe, perceive things, and as well as the way that you interact with others. There are two main thoughts on mindset. There's both the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Fixed mindset believes that abilities are innate and unchangeable, versus growth mindset, which is more empowering to make you believe that you can change the world and your outcomes through hard work and dedication. I believe that mindset is an important piece that many times we overlook when it comes to especially trying to achieve success as well as chasing your dreams. So this episode, we will go back over the last year and we will review some of the previous episodes where we discussed mindset. This might be a trigger for you to go back and listen to that whole episode if it is something that is of interest to you. So I hope that this episode on mindset will be helpful for you. I know that we are at the end of the year. Many times people are just trying to make it across the finish line and hopefully have a new start in 2026. But be open and always continue to do your best in everything that you do. Just know that currently what you're doing is not the standard. It might be your best, but it might not be the standard that everyone else is being held to. So in order to become the best, you're going to have to do more, you're going to have to be better, and you're going to have to be different. And I think many times we are willing to do more. We might even be willing to do it better, but are we really willing to do it differently or to be different? And especially as a minority in a field where I'm the far minority with making up less than 2% of orthopedic surgeons. And then you take that and you say, okay, on top of being an orthopedic surgeon, I want to be a podcaster, I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to be a speaker. Now, I don't know what percentage that is, but it is by far the minority of people doing what I want to do. Now going into almost my fourth year of podcasting, I don't know many people that are doing that in my field. I don't know many people that are being an entrepreneur on top of running a full medical practice. So I have to be comfortable with being different. If I'm not comfortable with being different, then I'm going to really struggle in what I'm doing. And being different many times is that secret sauce. It can be your weapon to be able to achieve success because it's what the world or the industry needs. You're being able to fill that gap. But many times it's not really comfortable to be different. So if you want to be the best, you're going to have to be different. And you're going to have to try different things that are not already being done to be able to achieve that number one ranking. So that's one takeaway for sure.
Absolutely. And I always tell people when they tell me they're too busy for this, I ask them to screenshot their screen time on their iPhone. It'll tell you how many hours a day you're spending on your phone. And so we have this perception that we don't have any time, but really we're just filling it a lot of times with nonsense and scrolling and Netflix and Hulu and all of the subscriptions and just things that don't bring us value. And so when you really do shift that time of scrolling and consuming content and consuming worthless television and things like that, you really can make leaps and bounds in other areas of your life, whether that just be personal development, reading, whatever that may be, or a business like this. You really can maximize your 24 hours when you actually look at how you're spending it right now and then redelegate to the things that are most important to you.
Are you a young physician who's frustrated in figuring out how you're going to continue to fund yourself through this early phase of your career? Are you tired of speaking to lenders who do not understand your plight? We have a solution for you. Let me introduce you to Doc2Doc Lending.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Zwade Marshall, co-founder, CEO of Doc2Doc Lending. We are the exclusive lending partner for physicians and dentists in the United States. We underwrite our loans thoughtfully, knowing the physician journey and your career trajectory. We're a company that's been founded by doctors and built for doctors because we get it. Banks don't understand all the ways in which we struggle through educational debt, consumer debt, as we're trying to make ends meet during a very challenging time of our lives. Doc2Doc is underwritten with thoughtful process that's meant to give you credit for all the unique physician characteristics that you have, like being board certified, having a dual degree, undergoing and finishing a specialty or a fellowship as well, and just being employed as a physician. All of those things give you credit to get your interest rate lower with our platform.
So we are glad to partner with Doc2Doc Lending. So if you are stuck trying to figure out where you can get funding or where you can continue to support your family during this time of transition in your career, we offer you a solution. Doc2Doc Lending, physician-owned, understands your plight, understands what it's like to be an early physician or a physician who wants to do something outside of medicine. Check out Doc2Doc Lending. This segment is a paid advertisement for Doc2Doc Lending, Inc. Loans are made available by DR Bank, member FDIC, and are subject to credit approval and available in approved states only. Representative APRs for Doc2Doc range from 9.99% to 26.99%. Terms and conditions available at doc2doclending.com. We think about performance and we think about athletes, but we also have high achievers. So talk about their relationship and when you're dealing with that CEO or the teacher or the coach, how is that similar to when you're dealing with athletes and they're from a psychiatric standpoint?
There's so much in common, and that's part of why I do work with high achievers, other high performers, because there's so much parallel. First of all, there's a lot of them who were former athletes, and they take that same mentality into the next chapter of what they're doing and the chapter after that. So it continues because it's in you. When it's in you, it's in you. But even if someone has never been a high performer in sports, still those concepts of, yes, delayed gratification, but also knowing when to rest, understanding that rest and energy management is important for sustaining your performance. When I say energy management, I think about the book Powerful Engagement and the fact that you can spend 30 minutes doing something that makes you feel completely drained and you have no energy left after that, for example, versus 30 minutes of something that you feel like really invigorates you, incites you, pours back into your cup, and you feel empowered to take on whatever's next. If you never plan to have those periods where you pour back into yourself, you're not going to be able to keep performing. So it doesn't have to be like recovery workouts for an athlete. When you're talking about a high performer, it's recovery periods for your life. So what does that look like for you as an individual? Does that mean time meditating? Does that mean time just going for a walk? Does that mean time listening to your favorite music or dancing or whatever it is that you like to do? Building time into your schedule for those things is key. But another lesson, there's so many, so I won't be able to talk about everything. But another thing I want to say is this separation, which I learned the very hard way through sports and then also actually through my medical career, but that separation of your identity from what you do. I think that is so important for anybody that's a high achiever or high performer. You're not going to do whatever it is that you're doing for the end of days until you die. Certainly not at the same level. Number one. Number two, what you're doing, what you're high performing at might have to change and switch at some point in time. And that's okay. It didn't make you. You were doing well at that thing because you're who you already are. And you have to know that about yourself. One, because that's going to help you to perform better, but also because then you don't feel like you've lost yourself if something has to change. If there's one thing that I definitely want for athletes and other high performers to remember is that when that time comes for this to no longer be the thing that you're high performing in, it doesn't change who you are. And you were doing well and you were great because you're you, not because of how well you were doing at that thing. Even if other people would have you think that your worth is tied to that, it's not.
Legacy for me has a deeper meaning than just assets. It has to do with passing along the ideals that you had for a family, like ways and means to keep us together. If it's nothing but coming together for a hot dog supper or coming together for a soup date, just having that time together. I want my grandchildren to get to know their cousin the way it was when I grew up. All of us lived in the same neighborhood.
Right.
So all of our cousins knew each other. We spent time together. We had a strong bond. That's the kind of bond I want to leave behind for the next generation. I want the generation of grandchildren and cousins to spend quality time together, laughing, having fun, being together. If it's nothing but a weekend now and then, I just don't want, because everybody lives far away now.
Right.
Like I said, we live in the same neighborhood, but now people are 5, 6, 10 hours away from each other. I want us to come together and never forget to come together and bond as a family, because the bond of a family is so strong and so important, because I always say that if you don't have God and family in your life, you don't have a life, because those are two sources that can help you to get through pretty much anything. If you just need somebody to talk to, or you just need somebody to say, I love you, or spend some time with you, that is a legacy I want to leave behind, a strong bond for family.
I have what it takes to be a physician. Now I better understand what affirmations are. And I do them with my children. We do them as a family because I want them to understand that you have to speak life over yourself. Words are powerful. And if you're not telling yourself what you can do, you can't expect the world to have your back.
Thank you for continuing to support this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then please leave a 5-star review. And if you haven't done so, subscribe so you continue to get the updated episodes. Until later, peace.
Hey, time out with the sports doctor. Keep our head right in the game. We ain't never stopping. You are now tuned in. Trust you don't want to miss. This is where life, sports, and medicine